here, Miami Community News. I'm with Suzy Lord of Cutler Bay Council. You already won one term. That's 4 years.
That's right.
You're up for re-election.
That's right.
But before we talk about politics, I want to know a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cutler Bay. I've been there for 45 years.
Where?
Well, Cutler Ridge,
Okay,
right? I'm a Ridge rat.
Okay.
I am a Ridge rat.
What elementary school did you went to?
Well, I moved here when I was 12, so I did 1 year at R.R. Moten, sixth grade.
Who was your favorite teacher there?
Dr. Strawn. He was amazing.
Middle school, where'd you go? Or high school for you?
Junior high, Cutler Ridge Junior High.
Who was your favorite teacher?
Oh, it was my typing teacher. It was Miss Smith. She had such a generic name. Typing teacher. Like, they don't even teach that anymore.
Okay, high school. What high school did you go to?
Southridge.
Okay, and who is your...
Mr. Octaviano.
Okay, let's see how good you are. Who is your principal?
Oh, no, Mr. T, Dr. T. Like, he was amazing.
Joe Teckerman.
Yeah.
His house was at, by the way, guess FYI, 150th in Old Cutler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm friends with, I knew him, his wife, and his kids.
Yeah.
The two boys. Okay, so did you go to college in here?
I went to Miami-Dade, my 2 years.
Do you have any favorite teacher?
I had an art teacher that I really loved. I think his last name was Ramiro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up local.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Ridge, as I call it. People don't know why it's called the Ridge. Because it's on a ridge.
That's right.
I don't know how old you are, but do you remember when at night when the blue crabs used to cross over Old Cutler?
No, I remember there's like just a small quantity left of them. It used to be all of Old Cutler used to be packed.
I remember when you go past the bridge near Snowden's Bridge.
Yeah.
And you couldn't drive because there were so many.
There were so many. There were.
We used to go there and get buckets.
I can honestly say I never did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you live here now. Mm-hmm. You got two kids. They grew up. They're rich rats.
Yes, they are. They are.
I remember when people were a little insulted by that. Now it's
a badge of honor.
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's Cutler Ridge used to be the blue collar of South Dade.
Right.
And it was the working class. Now it's not the blue collar.
Not anymore.
No.
It's not. We've done great. We've done great things.
It is booming.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 years ago you decided to run. Why?
So my son was on our inaugural youth council. He was a chair for that.
You were not elected yet.
I was not elected. This is 10 years ago. 2000 is actually in 2013. And the town decided to do a youth council. My son asked me if he should put in an application for it. And I told him, do you love your town? He's like, yes, of course. And I'm like, do you have time to do this? And he said, yeah, of course. And I'm like, then you should do it. Right. So then, 4 years ago, we're talking about whether or not I'm going to do it. I was involved, but on the peripheral, right? And I said, oh, well, the seat's opening. It's COVID, though. Like, should I run? I don't know. My son used those exact words against me. Mom, do you love this town? Do you have the time? You should do it. And I'm like, I'm by far one of the most passionate people about my town. I love this town.
Tim grew up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. From kids.
Yeah, Tim, Mike, and I, we all grew up in the Ridge, which is why we're so cohesive as a council, I think, because we all are like-minded. We all had the same experiences. We're embedded and meshed in that town. So
remember Hooter?
Hooter.
Do you remember him? The baseball guy? No. Oh, God. Every time I think of Hooter, baseball, it's Hooter who coached there for years.
I didn't know.
FPL guy. He just retired. Okay, so... you decided to run. Right. Did you have an opponent?
I had 3.
Okay.
And so I knew I had 2 women and a gentleman running against me. One of them didn't.
Not against you, for that spot.
For that spot. You're right. I like that. One of them didn't really campaign much. It was hard to campaign because we're in COVID. I tried to think outside the box, and I've never campaigned before. So I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. So let's get in the golf cart. And I, drove around. We were still distancing. So I would give milk bones with my business card attached to it, like my campaign card. And I'm like, call me if you have any questions. Or I would give kids candy with the card. So that worked out really well. I had a lot of phone calls, people asking me what my positions were.
And what were the tough decisions 4 years ago?
Like for the town or for me personally? Well, we were a decision, not so much, but we were working really hard on trying to get Southland Mall redeveloped. One of my very first things was working on informing and educating our town about the GO bond that we were asking for the 16 acres. And so we had over
for the park.
For the municipal buildings in the park. We had over 20 meetings, and I attended every one of them. But I had just been elected. So one, I was learning alongside with the residents, because although I was involved on the peripheral, you don't know what you don't know until you get in that position. And,
Right.
and I had, thank God I had Ralph, right? Ralph Casals is one of our...
By the way, he is the most underpaid city manager in Dade County.
I believe him to be, he's invaluable.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of he works very hard, and he loves Cutler Bay.
He loves it. He loves it. He does. So I underwent Ralph Casals, University 101.
Right.
The onboarding was a thing. There's so much that people generally don't know what is happening in local government, and it was I ended up immediately loving it. Like, I knew I would love serving my community, but I immediately fell in love with the local politics aspect of it, getting to know our commissioners and our Congress people, and all that to me was fascinating.
It is fascinating because, you complain about certain Congress people or state senators, but if they're bringing money to your city,
right,
to your community, that's all that matters.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And it's tough. They say, well, there's federal money. Well, no. Yeah, there's federal money, maybe not for you.
Right.
So your congressmen or senators, they're fighting for your community.
Right. And ours, in all honesty, those who represent us have taken such good care of Cutler Bay. The first year I was in office, I didn't get to go to Tallahassee because of COVID. The second year we went
on your own. You didn't go through Dade League of Cities.
No, we go on our own.
It should.
Yeah, because we get more attention, I think, that way. It's us.
People say to me, they should the elected officials are here. No, they are here 8 months a year. But when they're in session, that's when you got to see them. You got to feel it out. You got to understand the whole. When you go there, you understand the process.
Right. And that was my point. My first time there, when we met with our state lobbyists and we were walking around.
Who's your state lobbyist?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot now.
That's all right. You'll figure it in a minute.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
And who's your state senator?
My state senator is Alexis Calatayud.
And she fights for you guys all the time.
Fights hard.
Now, state rep, is it one state rep or two state
One,
rep?
Alina Garcia.
Who also brought bacon home for you
guys. Yes. They all have. Congresswoman Salazar got us $4 million for Marlin Road. $4 million. That's significant.
Yes.
But the first time I walked out of the hotel in Tallahassee and I was looking around and
it's giant. It's like the end of the world.
Huge. But also I was like, this is what this is about. Like this, let's go make some relationships. Let's do this. Let's get my town some money. I love the community events. I love being involved with our community. I'm one of the most well seen in the community at events. I go to a lot of ours. Yeah.
This is your community.
I love it. But Tallahassee, I was like, let's go. Let's get some money.
Yeah. And it's not as easy just because you ask doesn't mean
you're going to get it.
That's correct.
Right.
Whatever political party, you still need everybody involved.
Right.
Understanding the process. I got some questions.
Sure.
Very confusing. Black Point. People think that's Cutler Bay.
It is not.
The street is not.
No.
Golf carts are allowed in Cutler Bay?
Golf carts are allowed in Cutler Bay, but not at Black Point.
It's just crazy.
It's silly.
It's silly because it's like, I love going to Black Point. You go there and everybody just sitting out, just having a good time.
Right. And why not be able to take your golf cart out there? I know that our mayor, Mirbot, was fighting to get that to happen. There's an issue with the county road and the speed limit, but it's not couched. We'll readdress that.
Yeah. Next thing. Southland Mall is getting close. Have we seen a blueprint? Have we seen anything yet?
I have not. That doesn't mean they haven't been done. I know that they were going to present to us soon, very soon. I think maybe at our next meeting or the following.
How exciting.
No, can I tell you how excited I am about that project? Not just that it's going to put us on the map for South Dade for sure. It's going to be a destination for everyone in South Florida, but I grew up at that mall when it was Cutler Ridge Mall. I managed 2 different stores in that mall when I was a teenager, out of high school. Vice Mayor Callahan worked in that mall. We're all, again, enmeshed in this community. And for years, we've just had this asphalt parking lot that's just sat there. We were really trying to get that redeveloped. And so now the renderings that I've seen, which are not the blueprints, but we saw the renderings are beautiful.
Well, Cutler Ridge Mall, Southland Mall, whatever you want to call it, they changed, they put lipstick on it. Still is Cutler Ridge Mall.
Yep.
It's, as the mayor said, this is Southland Mall, or whatever you want to call it. It is not just for Cutler Bay. It's all of South Dade, from Palmetto Bay to Homestead, because there's going to be a ton of jobs.
A ton, about 4,000.
Yeah. So think about that. That's about 2,500 cars off the turnpike, off US 1, going there.
Right.
And it's just going to be mind-boggling.
So one of the things I learned when I first was elected, I'm one of the people who leave town to go to work. And right now, after COVID, I work off of Blue Lagoon in a law firm. And so in order for me to get there when I do go in on time, I leave at 6 in the morning.
And how long does it take you?
At 6 in the morning, I get there at 6:45. If I leave it after 7:30, it takes me an hour and 45 minutes.
An extra half hour.
Yeah.
An extra almost.
It's
50%
significant,
more.
Right? So I was surprised to learn that 98% of our town leaves town to go work, and most of them are heading north, right? That's where the jobs are. So the hospitals, the law firms, whatever.
Well, I know it's busy because I had to go to Redland Country Club Tuesday from South Miami, hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
I had to leave it. I missed my clock. I read it wrong. I wanted to leave at 4. I left at 4:30. I just got busy.
If you miss that window, forget it.
Yeah, so
forget it.
I know they're trying to build the Kendall Parkway, another expressway, but it doesn't matter. From Kendall Drive to about 184th, it's bumper to bumper.
Right.
So the Homeless Trust.
Yeah, La Quinta.
If it happens, I think Cutler Bay won.
I do too. Actually, I was thinking about that on the way here, right? Initially, when they came before us, my ask was, can you promise me a percentage will be for elderly and veterans? And nope, we can't do that. It was supposed to be a needle exchange. There were going to be on-site services and no leases, So were there offered probably better locations, in my estimation, my humble opinion? Yeah, but those offers weren't really looked at closely. So the fact that now it's elderly housing, the fact that
over 55,
that there's going to be leases that they have to actually, pay money toward, there's no needle exchange. It's a win for me in my mind.
I think so too. I still think the ground's contaminated. There's going to be an extra cost in there. They say it's not contaminated. Anytime there's a dry cleaner that's
Agreed.
50 years old, 40, it's contaminated.
Agreed.
It is. I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win. We needed the housing. The county needs the housing. But also too, Grant, we can't overlook the overpaying. That amount of money.
That was my big issue. But the county doesn't think it's so it's going to move forward. Southland's going to move forward.
Yeah.
That street's going to be completely different.
Right.
What's the hotel right next to it?
Motel 6.
Yeah, people get confused. They think
that's the La Quinta.
Right.
La Quinta's pushed all the way back.
Yeah, it's a little alley back there.
Right.
So I think it's a win-win. The council worked together.
We worked really hard on that. I went down to the commission, the Dade County Commission Board of Commissioners meetings twice. Took time off of work, took a whole day off to go down. I saw you the second time I was there. We worked really hard. And I think a lot of that is overlooked. And I'm actually very proud of how hard we worked as a council.
So the Cutler Bay citizens and residents think you guys get paid a lot of money.
Oh, my goodness. I know. I find that so comical.
So how much is your pay?
$13,000 a year.
So let me just go over this.
Yeah.
13,000 divided by 52. What is that, Rochelle?
You're putting her on the spot.
It's about $250 a week. Am I right?
Yeah, $250.
That is, and you're working.
And that's prior to taxes. That's prior to, I literally, I come home, I think my check is $800 a month, right? And I work, I don't know, 30 hours a week, 35 hours a week, if not more.
You're so wrong.
Yeah.
All right, you're right. This day you only work 2 hours. Then
Right.
Saturday you're at 6 events.
That's true.
So it's a thankless job.
Mm-hmm.
When it's all done and the new park's built, it's going to be unbelievable. During your time, they fixed Frangio Park.
Oh my gosh, I was so happy.
It took forever.
It did.
And Lakes by the Bay is a big success.
Yep.
Before you, they changed the high school.
Oh, right. Well, let me tell you, that was a game changer for my family. Like personally, my younger son was about to start high school. It was the summer between.
Right.
I was struggling with where to put him. My oldest son is an alumni of Southridge, and he did fine there. But,
every kid's different.
Every kid is different. So at that time, I was playing poker on Tuesday nights with our then Mayor McDougal. I grew up with his kids. I used to play poker with them all the time. And
You any good at poker?
yeah,
Okay.
I beat him. They used to only allow men at their game, and he said, "I'll let you play, but whatever. You better be good." And I won that night. So I got to play whenever I wanted to, which is great. But he said, "Why haven't you checked into Cutler Bay Senior?" And I said, "I didn't realize it was already opening." So the town put in $3 million initially to build the building at the back of the old Centennial School.
Right.
What my son flourished there. He was in the first graduating class. He was the first prom king. That school, although I'm a Southridge alum, that school has my heart. Like I was.
Callahan's a Southridge, right?
Yep, and Mirabot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice that you have a neighborhood high school. Then you have a choice.
And we have a choice, and that was the point.
That's the point. You have to have a choice.
Right.
Okay. Elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Frangio Park.
Yep.
By great organization, great park. There was a shooting at the gas station.
Right.
That's 100 yards away, 50 yards away.
100, I'd say. Yeah.
Well, let's just say 50.
We'll go with 50.
Every media made it look like the gunshot was at the park.
Inside the park. Yeah.
It wasn't.
It was not. No, it was not. It was in a side street that abutted to the back parking lot of the park.
Wait. What parking lot?
There's a back parking lot to PBA.
Where? Behind the batting cages?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Only the locals
I
know
said
about it.
PBA. I'm actually dating myself. It's not even known
Yeah.
as.
Okay, so there was a shooting back there.
There was a shooting. A targeted shooting on one of the duplexes, not connected to the baseball.
There's a duplex back there?
There's duplexes back there.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, behind. Okay.
Yep.
Now I got it. But all the media looked like there was a shooting at the park.
Right. Which is not what happened at all.
So I want to report what I hear.
Sure.
That you guys immediately put out availability for counseling.
Yes, we had counseling at Town Hall last night, individual counseling, group counseling. We had 6 therapists there from 3 different groups. It was organized by victims advocacy groups. Miami-Dade County Police had 3 different police chiefs there, which is unheard of. I mean, this is how serious this situation is being taken. There's over 13 investigators working on this. But we took it very seriously with the grief counseling. In fact, the parents and children who didn't come for whatever reasons, I have placards, and I'm going to go to the park tonight and hand them out. Here's some more grief resources for you if you need it. The video is incredibly scary, and my history with that park, I used to go there as a teenager to watch the Friday night baseball teams. Yeah, and then
I coached there I coached baseball. I coached football. I coached baseball there. I coached football against the Palmetto Bay Raiders.
You coached football out of Coral Reef Park?
Well, when I coached when it was at Broncos used to be at Chapman Park.
Oh,
People
right.
don't know that.
That's right. I forgot
then
that.
Moved to Coral Reef. Then I started a football program at Coral Reef. The Broncos. I started an
My
intramural.
son was in that.
In the intramural
Yeah,
program.
my
I
son was
allowed
in
one.
that. Yeah. Well, no, I remember you. But I used to go there as a young teenager,
Franjo.
I used to go to Franjo Park.
It was a hangout.
It was a hangout. That's what we did. And then I was married and I had 2 children. My in-laws actually used to be the president and
Who's
treasurer.
in-laws?
Their last names were Wexler, Roberta and Bob Wexler.
Wexlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were my in-laws. But
It's always your in-laws.
They're-
Maybe they're ex, but they're in-laws.
that's true. That's true.
They're the grandparents of your children.
That's true. So my youngest son was 2 weeks old, and his first outing after his pediatrician appointment was to that park because his brother had his first baseball game at 5. And I can tell you, Grant, it's not lost on me watching that video, remembering me having a newborn child and a 5-year-old in the field. Like I get teary-eyed when I think about what those parents were feeling. It's terrible. Sorry.
No, it's a scary situation.
It was very scary.
Howard Palmetto, who I'm involved with, had teams there, and things happen.
Yep.
This is not a Palmetto. This is not a Cutler Bay thing.
Right.
This is Miami.
Right.
So it's scary, but you guys have counseling and everything. Listen, that park's the best.
The park is the best, and I'll tell you, although I don't know what is finalized, as I was driving here, I had a call from the town manager who had spoken to the president of the association, and he'd been in talks with Miami-Dade police and the grief counselors. And as a result of those cumulative talks, they were about to finalize what we were going to do at the park. I don't know, so stay tuned. I'm pretty sure there'll be an announcement this afternoon. But the park is safe. I'm walking through it tonight, you know?
I remember when my kids played, when we'd go down there and play something. The park's great. Back then, I bet you Mirrorbox parents were cooking the burgers back then.
Right.
Greasy burger. God, I loved it. But it feels, your kid's safe at that park.
Yeah. I felt that they were so safe that I was always at the park by myself because my ex-husband was a football referee. So he was always working when we had games and stuff. And so when my youngest started playing, I would literally stand between 2 fields in the middle and just kind of watch back and forth.
Best.
Yeah.
And the fans of this game, get bored, they'll cheer on the other.
Yeah.
Franjo was so tight.
And it was like it truly was like a family. I mean, I understand the residents who are fearful and up in arms that their children are there and their safety was questioned for a moment, but we're on top of it.
On the park, they're safe. Can't control the outside.
That's exactly right.
And people get confused.
Right.
We live in unless you're going to live
in a bubble.
In a bubble. This is part of it. Unfortunately, there's violence. We have to teach the kids, safety things.
Right.
But immediately, our league got a notice from you guys saying this is what we're doing.
Right.
So it's beautiful. And then our own league followed up even more. So, next question.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Who's your favorite cowboy?
You.
I see.
John Wayne.
Your favorite hot dog place?
Arbetters. Hands
Suzy
down.
Okay, cheeseburger place.
Oh, wow.
Any good ones in Cutler Bay?
Oh, there's never a bad cheeseburger.
I agree.
That's my answer. I can eat cheeseburgers all day, every day. I do love Rod Bender's cheeseburgers.
Orban's just bought it.
Yeah.
A year or 2 ago.
You know, Bob?
Yeah, how do you not?
I know.
Bob?
I know.
They did a great job.
They did.
Yeah, it's a true local hole in the wall.
It is.
Like Sandbar.
Mm-hmm.
Sandbar's a hole in the wall. People love it.
Okay. Here we go.
Taco place.
Okay. Taco place in Cutler Bay. I actually go to, again, I'm not shamelessly plugging Rod Bender's, but I do like Rod's tacos.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Your favorite pizza place?
Oh, sorry. This is not in Cutler Bay. It's Maxwell's. I love Maxwell's.
It's on the edge. It's right there.
What's yours?
Big cheese.
The big cheese is amazing.
And you know why, don't you? The Grant Miller pizza is the best one.
Oh.
And at Arbetters, you get the Grant Miller hot dog, too.
I'm going to have to go
Your
now.
favorite football team?
Dolphins. The UM and Dolphins.
Don't tell me you cheered at Palmetto Raiders.
No, I didn't. I cheered at Southridge, though. I was a Southridge cheerleader.
All right, words. Thanksgiving.
What about it?
Give me some words. What you think?
Oh, my God. Stuffing, food, cooking, parade, football. Yeah.
Okay. What about family?
Family. Well, family's always around, right? You can't quite ever get rid of them.
Chicken place. Favorite place to eat chicken?
My favorite place to eat chicken. Oh, it's going to be Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A so much.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
It can't, no matter what, it's good.
Your hats are so great.
Fish. Your favorite fish place?
Oh, my favorite fish place. It's been a while. I love redfish. It's been a while since I've been there, though.
Get your boyfriend to take you there.
I know. Are you listening, Dennis?
Dennis, you're listening?
Captain America?
No. Who's your hero as a kid?
My father.
Wow.
Well, that was super easy. My dad is career military.
How many years did he serve?
22.
Wow. Which branch?
Army, military policeman.
Birthdays. Your sons.
August 12th and October 13th.
Dennis. Was Dennis?
Yeah, it's Dennis.
What's his birthday?
June 19th.
Any other birthdays that are important?
Mine, man. November 16th.
That's important. Okay. The magic of the mix.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Your first semester, your first term.
Yep.
And your next term.
My next term.
What's the magic of the mix to keep it going? To make Cutler Bay the best it could be?
You know, we have, I've already mentioned it once, we have such a cohesive council that we work really well together. I think there's a lot of magic there. There's no infighting. We don't always agree. The word on the street is that we're all in agreement and it's a good old boys club, but I completely disagree with that. We all have our own opinions. You'll hear us on the dais. A lot of times we do say, I concur with what he said, so I'm not going to repeat it. But, that's the magic. And Ralph Cassell's the magic. Like right now it's working well.
Property value has skyrocketed.
Skyrocket. Yeah.
People go, all right, my taxes went up. Well, your property value is doubled. You know, I was speaking to the mayor yesterday, and it was crazy is Cutler Bay was the blue collar. Now it's a regular working class making money. Property values going up. There's three things that make cities important. First one is parks, public schools,
right?
Parks, public school, and police.
And we have the best of the best of all three of those.
Police departments
is amazing.
Your public schools are good.
Amazing.
And then
and our parks. I mean, we just acquired Veterans Park on 87th and Old Cutler. That's one of the things I'm most proud of in my first term is my vote to acquire that property. It was either that or between 100 and 200 apartments, right? When we procured that property.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And it made us
Old Cutler couldn't take it.
No, nor could they have taken the 400 houses that were potentially going to be at the 16-acre location. But with that purchase, the purchase that we did before me at 184th and Old Cutler and the 16 acres, were the largest landowner in Cutler Bay on Old Cutler. And I'm very proud of that. It's green space. It's beautiful.
Traffic's tough enough.
Traffic's terrible.
If you had 1,500 to 1,000 homes, people couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
So I wish you luck, but you don't need luck.
I don't. Thank you.
You're a great